Right, good morning. My name is Mark Edwards. I'm the CEO of Tower Property Fund. As you would have known from our recent annual results presentation, we wanted to provide newsletters going forward on a quarterly basis, but we wanted to buck the trend of providing everything in written format and give it to you in video and audio format. This will be available on our website, so you can watch the presentation. There will be video footage in the background, which I'll describe, and also you can download the podcast if you like on iTunes and Spotify and others. We'll make reference to that on our website, so you can listen to it in the car. There'll also be a transcript available detailing exactly what I've said for those of you who prefer to read. What I'm going to take you through this morning, very quickly, 4 to 8 minutes of an update as to where Tower is currently and the major issues that we're dealing with and that we're facing. So following on from our results presentation, we did say major focus was on the balance sheet. That continues to be the theme and will be the theme for the remainder of the year. The market still in South Africa is very tough. Croatia is doing well, and our extreme focus has been on tightening up the balance sheet and reducing the loan to value. The loan to value, as we announced on SENS recently, has come down as a result of property sales, which I will discuss, and the balance sheet is the strongest it's been since our listing in 2013. So main themes I'd like to just briefly discuss with you are the development at Old Cape Quarter, how that's proceeding, Deloitte and the replacement of that tenancy 1 year from now, Sunclair, the 6th floor, the renovations we're doing there, how Croatia is doing, our involvement with the Ubuntu Football Trust, and then lastly sales that we've undertaken. So starting in Old Cape Quarter, and you'll see as I'm speaking now, you'll see for those of you who are watching some video footage of Old Cape Quarter, which was taken showing the update in the construction. So the good news is we have appointed 60% of the subcontractors and have managed to save around 16 million rand of our budget. We still need to appoint 40% of the subcontractors. We're expecting to come out on parity with those subcontractors, and then everything is appointed. Currently we are in the basement of Old Cape Quarter, which has been a highly complex engineering job, and we are out of the ground now, so the risk has almost entirely been removed from that process, which was the process which allowed the biggest amount of risk. Now obviously it's going forward, and the major risk lies in appointing subcontractors and the prices of things like steel. We managed to fix the price of steel, which actually saved us quite a bit of money. We've saved money on air conditioning, on lift replacements, on electricity, on electrical installations, etc. So from a cost perspective, the development is going well. From a sales perspective and income perspective, the market is tight and is flat in Cape Town, but De Waterkant does still seem to be the shining light in a flat market. We have sold around 60 million rands worth of apartments to date, and there's a couple more in negotiation as we speak. The fallback position, as we've always told shareholders, is that it'll be a short-term rental market. We currently have around 20 apartments at Old Cape Quarter, and now new ones on Napier Street, which are let out at about 70% occupancy for the past 12 months, which was the most difficult 12 months in the sector. So all in all efforts are being undertaken on Old Cape Quarter. It's a major project for Tower, but we're extremely excited. One of the things to advise shareholders of is the end date is still set for March 2021. However, we do expect to have the retail tenants and the office tenants up and trading by Christmas of next year. So we'll get Christmas trade, which we have not budgeted for as yet, which is exciting. From a Deloitte's perspective, the renewal of Deloitte's, that ends 30th of October of next year. So we've got just over 1 year. There's a full team approach to that. The management of Old Cape Quarter, or the letting of Old Cape Quarter and the letting of Deloitte's, is being done in conjunction with each other, so we can ensure that we replace the rental that Deloitte's are currently paying, which has obviously escalated above market over the past 10 years of their lease agreement. We have some good traction so far with bigger office users. Our intention is to break up the space into 1 or 2 bigger office users, to have a section, probably a floor of shared workspace, and then smaller offices paying higher rentals. Deloitte's currently occupy around 6,000 square meters, so it's nice. It's a nice chunky space for us to work with, and there has been significant progress, which we hope to update you on as and when we sign large users. The format of this newsletter will be every quarter, so I hope to update you on both Deloitte's and Old Cape Quarter as we proceed. Sunclair, the 6th floor tower, is moving its offices. We've been in Rondebosch for the last number of years, but we're moving to a tower building on the 6th floor. We did cancel the lease, or we didn't renew the lease of a call center which occupied the full floor. The call center was just a bit hard on the building. Sunclair is really doing well. We bought the building in 2015 for 190 million rand. We revalued it this year independently. It's now 330 million rand in value, purely because of the move in rentals. Our 6th floor is basically fully let. We're about 85% let now on that floor. Tower's taking around 250 square meters only, but EOH has taken a large part of the floor and other local tenants. So very exciting. We look forward to welcoming any shareholders that want to come and see our new premises and have a coffee with us at the Bootleggers downstairs. From a sales perspective, we recently announced on SENS that we had sold Meadowbrook for 91 million rand and that we had accepted an offer and concluded a binding sale agreement with MedScheme. The MedScheme building was one that we were intending to sell because we had just re-signed a new 7-year lease with MedScheme. It's a fit-for-purpose property, so if MedScheme were to move out, it would be very difficult to let it. We had to take a 30% rental reduction on their recent rental renewal. So we wrote the building down and we sold it at slightly below the value, but at around 96% of the valuation. So with MedScheme, we achieved 106% of the valuation. So our valuations are accurate, and the sales that we are obtaining are reflecting those valuations. We intend using that cash to reduce debt. In fact, it's already gone into debt, and it has reduced the loan to value to the lowest level. We still would like to reduce the loan to value further so that our balance sheet can be as bulletproof as it can be. Obviously, the way we have funded Croatia effectively is 100% funding, and we'd like to reduce the Standard Bank Euro loans we have, and our intention is to increase the Croatian in-country loans to reduce that currency risk we face with the rand blowing out. From a Croatian perspective, trading densities are up 7% in our portfolio for the past 12 months. We have 4 retail properties there, as you know, 1 office and 1 industrial property. We are looking at potentially recycling some assets that we've received some excellent offers on of considerably above our valuation to reinvest into other assets which we think will show higher growth, and those discussions with potential buyers are underway. But in that period, we've managed to increase as much as 12% turnover growth at a property called Velika Gorica, and on our bigger one, Sub Dubrovnik, by 2%. So on average, 7%. And we expect that to translate to turnover rental in 2020, although a slight amount. The last point to mention to you is our sponsorship of the Ubuntu Trust. Very pleased to advise you that Ubuntu has just won the NGen Champion of Champions trophy, which is basically the winners of the regional championships from all across South Africa in the youth demographic, and then they play the Champion of Champions in Joburg, and Ubuntu won it. They beat the likes of Ajax, etc., etc. So we're incredibly proud of our sponsorship. What is very exciting is one of our major shareholders has also sponsored the Ubuntu Trust with a big sum of money, which is going to assist them in their operations for the next 2 years. We currently put around 80 children through school through that process, and we would welcome any initiatives that you guys have if you would like to support them in any way possible. They've got a house where a lot of the boys stay, which often require things like computers and couches and things like that. But if you want to sponsor a rand value, please do phone me directly or get a hold of Ubuntu. Their website's online. So that's it. I just wanted to update you on the major initiatives of TAR. We look forward to catching up at our AGM next week, and then one more of these will follow before the end of the year, and our half-year results will be out in February of 2020. Thanks very much.